Okay, so let me kind of tell a story. Back in the days when I got into the Amway business, someone showed up a very real and sobering um, method of what does it take to retire. Like, what do you need to save up in order to retire to any kind of financial dignity, let alone having a great lifestyle? And me getting my master's, I went to Air Force Academy, got my degree in economics, although really I was more of a general engineering, but with a kind of concentration in economics, if that makes any sense. You know, I mean, talk about having double E and astro and aero, thermodynamics, chemistry, physics, all 4 years. I mean, so I really have a general engineering background, but I took concentration in economics, but then I got my master's in economics with an emphasis in quantitative, right? So I'm like a mega statistical nerd. And so when this was shown to me, talking about, I was like 31 when I got in, no, 33 when I got in the Amway business. And the guy talked about, okay, if you have nothing saved up for retirement, no 401k, how much would you need to save every month in order to retire at 65 in any kind of financial dignity? So what's important about that is that it woke me up. Like I woke up and it's like, oh my gosh, wake up, smell the coffee. And so I've done this over the years and I've updated it for 2018. I think the last time I did this was 2015, but I went into more in depth on it that will, I mean, when I did the last part of it, just this morning, I took some more numbers. Man, my stomach started churning. Like literally, I felt sick because of some of the numbers I came up with, because I extended the analysis to some very sobering things. So I did this in New Jersey, and I didn't have time to kind of go into the solution, which is the Alliance and our business's solution. So let me just warn you, it's very sobering. You could walk away feeling very depressed and like, honestly, like hopeless, if not for the Alliance, okay? So I just want to warn you up front, my intention is not to make you depressed, not to make you think that there's no hope, because the hope is the Alliance. So let me just say that off the bat. Like I said, like my stomach's churning even now thinking about sharing this with you. But it's one of those things, gang, seriously, I'm like, the bridge is out. Okay, the bridge is out. I'm trying to wave you down so that you don't cross the bridge that's not there and fall into the ravine, into the river below, that's 50 feet below. Okay, so let me just kind of start out like that, just to warn you. Okay, so let's talk about what stuff costs. Okay, 2018, median household income, $61,497. Base price of a Ford F-150 pickup truck, $27,705. Median price of a new home, $313,000. The worth of $100 in 2018 dollars, $100. I mean, and you'll understand why I put that in there. Okay, so let me explain a few things about statistics. When you talk about income, people go, why don't you show average? Because average skews everything. If you want to do a comparative analysis over time using 2018 dollars, the best way to compare is using median income. So let's define median income. Median income is the middle, the 50th percentile. Okay, so some of y'all understand percentile. 50% of the population makes less than $61,497 in 2018, and 50% make more than $61,497. Okay, so compared to average. So the problem with average is you got a guy making $10 million compared to, let's say, one guy making $10 million, and then you got 5 people making $50,000, $40,000, $20,000, $10,000. And then when you take the average, it's skewed so high that it doesn't give you an accurate depiction on a comparative basis. Does that make sense? So like, go back to your college statistics class and remember, median is the 50th percentile. Half the people make more, half the people make less. Median price of a home, exactly the same thing. If you mix all the homes together, you got, $35 million estate that Taylor Swift has in Rhode Island compared to, the trailer park homes. Okay, same thing. The best comparative measure of homes is the median price of a home, which is 50% of the homes out there are worth less than 313, and 50% are worth more than 313,000. Capiche? Okay, here's the other thing. Anytime I've done a paper, anything I've done statistical analysis, is I have all my data. Now, I'm not just making this stuff up, gang. I'm pulling down the U.S. Census data. So, certainly there's error inherent in it, but it's the best we have. And the way the government measures stuff from year to year to year to year is fairly consistent. So from a comparative standpoint, I'm drawing my data from the same place, okay, basically. Base price of a Ford F-150, it doesn't come out of the U.S. Census data, but you can look it up online, okay? So having said that, integrity of the numbers is everything to me, because you can't base anything if the numbers are fudged. Like if you talk to any economist, you've heard it, people can lie about the numbers because you can spin it. This ain't spin here. I'm going to give you raw, hard, fact numbers, and then you make your own conclusion as to what it means to you and your life, okay? I'm not pulling any punches here. It is what it is. You can burn my house down because you think I'm lying to you, but the sobering fact is, at the end of this, is a sobering fact, all right? So hopefully I've set that up. So 2018, this is what stuff costs. Let's go back 10 years to 2008. So the median household income is $50,863. Again, these are 2018 dollars. It's pretty simple to calculate because it's based on a consumer price index. So any of you economic nerds understand that we use a consumer price index for everything, like Social Security, indexes to increase Social Security benefit payments, all right? Base price of Ford F-150, $17,900. This is 10 years ago. Median price of a new home, $229,300. The worth 10 years ago of $100 in 2018 dollars is $86.22. So let's go back 10 more years. 1998, 20 years ago. Okay, so this is really a summary. So you can see from 2018, 10 years ago to 2008, 20 years ago to 1998, and 30 years ago to 1988. 1988, household income, median household income, $27,503. Base price of a Ford F-150, $10,650. Median price of a new home, $110,000. The worth of $100 in 2018 dollars is $47.34. Okay, so what this shows you is perspective. So if you told someone in 1988, hey, Bo, 30 years, that Ford F-150 truck is going to cost you $27,705 base price, and God would tell you, no way, Bo. He's going to say, take a walk off a short pier, take a long walk off a short pier, because hey, no way that's going to happen. And then you tell him, well, your trailer that's worth 50 grand is going to be 3 times that amount in 2018. You go, no way, Okay, I'm probably not being politically correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell anybody that 30 years from now it's going to be what these numbers are in 2018, they think you're crazy, right? You don't have to be an economics major to think you're crazy. Like, an economics major would probably say, yeah, that's probably about right based on a 3-4% inflation rate compounded over 30 years. Okay, but people don't think like that. Most people think, no way, Bo. Okay. Scott's looking at me using that accent. Sorry, dude. Anyway, you can talk you can make fun of my American accent, my California accent, all you want to. So you can get me back. So okay, so here's what I did. I looked at, okay, what is the relative increase in percentages from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and 30 years ago? And these are the numbers. So comparing 1988 to 2018, household income went up 223%. The Ford F-150, 260%. New home price, 284%. The dollar, $100, 211%. Now notice it's fairly consistent, right? If you take 1998, okay, so 20 years ago, the numbers have the increase, percentage increase, it shows you there. And then 2008, 10 years ago, right? Like over 100% in just 10 years increase. Okay, so here's what I did. Okay, under the idea, like what will things cost 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and 30 years from now if I want to retire in 30 years? Like let's say I'm 35 today and want to retire in 30 years. What will things cost? If I'm 45 and I want to retire in 20 years, what will things cost? If I'm 55 and I want to retire in 10 years, what will things cost for me to live? Right? So let's take a look. So I apply those exact percentages to the future. Remember the part where no way that that car is going to cost that much? Well, let me give you the same perspective. Household income, median, we expect to grow in 2028 should be based on the last 10 years. In the next 10 years, 74 grand. The next 20 years, 96,000. The next 30 years, be 137,507. Now, let me ask you, y'all that are living on 61 grand a year, tell me what it's like living on 61,000 a year. I don't know how you're doing it, frankly. Like, I'm not trying to be elitist. I'm not trying to be an a-hole. I'm just trying to ask you, like, how do you live with healthcare costs? What are you paying on your healthcare if you have it? A couple grand a month? Now, do you think healthcare is going to go up or down over the next 20, 30 years, right? Like, tell me, how do you make your mortgage payment? How do you pay for your kids' college? How do you retire, save for retirement on 61,000 a year? Okay, so here's what I'm telling you. In 2048, the 61,000 lifestyle that I'm lamenting today is going to be 137,000. 137,000 in 2048 is going to spend like 61,000 today. Okay, y'all understand? Okay, let's look at the base price of a Ford F-150 30 years from now, projecting it to be 72,000. It's not even tricked out. We're not talking about low-profile rims. We're not talking about a supercharger. We're not talking about headers put on it. We're talking base price, your basic Ford F-150 truck that you're taking out to the farm. You're going to have to get a dadgum loan for $72,000 30 years from now. Well, I don't believe you, Alex. I don't believe that a Ford F-150 is going to be 70. Hey, brother, 30 years ago, what was it 30 years ago? Median price of a new home, $890,000. Wake up and smell the dadgum coffee. Double shot espresso, baby. $100 30 years from now is $211.24. It's a simple thing called inflation. Now you tell me when inflation's going to go away, and I'll tell you that these numbers are wrong. Well, I'm just going by the past. If the past equals the future, which a lot of people presume, so you can make a case that past does not equal the future, but I don't know. Anyway, like wake up. All right, so let's dig in. If that doesn't sound bad enough, let's continue. Okay, so let's talk about retirement. Like, what are financial planners saying as far as what you need to retire? Now, you can dispute me, you can argue with me, you can say I'm full of BS. If you talk to any financial planner and if you take the average of what they tell you, this is what they're going to tell you on average. The retirement rule of thumb is that you need a nest egg where you can withdraw 4% of your assets every year. So you're going to have it in investments where you can actually draw 4% a year. Okay, you've got to have your number. What's your number? Just like that Prudential ad. What is your retirement number? Okay, so this assumes that you have a 7% average rate of return on your principal in your retirement account. And so that a portion of each year's gain stays in the investment to offset inflation, right? So you're drawing out a percentage of it, okay? 4%. So here's an example. If you've got a retirement fund of $1 million and it earns within it on a 7% interest rate, $70,000 additional a year, you leave $30,000 inside the fund and use $40,000 to live, pre-tax. Okay, $40,000 to live as an example. And then when you withdraw that money, you know that inflation goes up. I just showed you. So you know that over the time, you're going to withdraw more money because you can't live over time on that same amount of withdrawal. So you have to increase it to keep up with inflation. And so the withdrawals that come out will exhaust the fund within 30 to 35 years. So if you're 65, look, how many people lived to 95? Okay, so financial planners are conservative in that if you do that, then you should have plenty to live. You should not be able to outlive your income, okay? So this is the premise upon which I base this study on what you need to retire. So you can dispute it if you want, but this is what I'm using. So then these are the numbers that I come up with. So if you're age 35 today and you want to retire in 30 years, starting with zero money in your 401k, you got no money. You spent it all. 2008 hit you hard and you had to use up your retirement. You had to go through a 2-year unemployment period and you drew down all your 401k money. You have nothing. Now tell me, how realistic is that? How many people have nothing? How many? Okay. I'm not talking about the 1% that have a lot at age 35. I'm talking about the general population of people that have no clue, all right, no clue that they are going to be working at Walmart greeting people until they die, okay? Do you think people that are working at McDonald's sweeping floors when they're 65, 68, 70 years old got a second wind in their career and they're going to McDonald's to work because they just want to contribute to society? Gang, there's a reason why people eat cat food and dog food, all right? I'm telling you here why. People don't know. So I'm informing you so you don't make the same mistake these other people did. So if you want to retire starting at zero in 30 years at age 35, you're going to need $3,437,698.62. So starting now, you have to save $1,750 per month starting now. So you'd have that much money to retire at a lifestyle based on $61,497 per year. Now, okay, for those of you that are nerds like me, so Alex, what is that percentile for age 65 people, that income level? And 62% of people that at age 65 in 2000, this is 2017 data, because that was the most recent data I could get. 62% of the population make below that. 62%. Only 38% make more than $61,000 a year, okay? And then for 2018, the poverty guideline for a 2-person household is $16,460. And I'm referencing that for what I'm going to talk about later, but I want you to see it so you're reminded of the federal poverty guideline for 2018 for a two-person household. All right. So if you're 35, you got nothing, you got to put away $1,750 per month. Okay, now I'm going to make it a little bit better number later, but okay. This is if you have nothing and you're not going to rely on Social Security to be around 30 years from now. So let me just say that, okay? Age 45, you want to retire 20 years, you'll need $2,401,316.26. So if you have zero, right now you got to save $3,500 a month for a lifestyle of $61,497 20 years from now. If you're 55 and you only got 10 years to retire, starting with nothing, you're going to need $1.8 million in 10 years, which means you must start saving $9,750 a month in order to retire in 10 years. Like, how many 55-year-olds have nothing? They're just living from paycheck to paycheck. They don't got enough to put away, right? So here's a summary. If you want to retire 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years, how much money you need, then how much you need to save based on a 10% investment return. Okay, so that's based on getting 10% over that period of time. Now you can go play the lottery all you want to. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm laughing because otherwise I'd be crying. Remember the churning part of my stomach? Okay, but this is not the end of the story. Okay, there's a little bit better. Okay, so this is the part that made me ill. So, what do you need to retire at the federal poverty line? Like, what do you need to put away? If you just want to retire at the federal poverty line, so you're eligible for food stamps and public assistance, if that's what you aspire to, let me give you the number so that you can aspire to that subsistence lifestyle. Unless you have your kids taking care of you, which, that's why you need your kids to make a lot of money. I'd ask them to get a life insurance license. Okay. If you want to retire in 30 years, to live at the federal poverty line, I've got those numbers. Again, you want all the citations for this, I got them all, and I will email you every dadgum website. All right? So if you want to retire at the federal poverty line, you need $876,234.15 in 30 years. So if you don't got any money put away, you need to put away $450 a month. If you want to retire in 20 years to retire at the federal poverty line, you need $624,266.36. You got to put away $916.67 per month. If you want to retire in 10 years, you're 55, want to retire in 10 years, brother, you need $483,806.43. So you need to save $2,541.67 a month. On top of you paying for health care, on top of you, helping put your kids through college, on top of you paying your mortgage, on top of you, okay, you get it? All right, so some of you smarter people are kind of saying, well, what about Social Security? Okay, let's talk about Social Security. Okay, so this is where the picture gets better, assuming you think Social Security trust fund is going to be around. Okay, they've been talking about privatizing it, but now you're betting on the government investing your Social Security dollars. And this is assuming that you've been paying into the Social Security trust fund because you and your wife have been working a job, paying into the trust fund because you're depending on Social Security for your future. So I traced the numbers back on the average Social Security benefit for two people. Okay, two people. So in 1988, the average Social Security benefit annualized is 13 for two people. Okay, that's important. $13,267.20. Remember the poverty line? Actually, what's interesting is you take two people's Social Security benefit, and it's interesting because it's 2 times the federal poverty line. So the government is hoping that they're going to give you twice what the poverty line is. Can you imagine? Your government loves you so much that they're going to let you retire. They're going to give you Social Security benefit twice the poverty line. Woohoo! Get fired up. So 1988, it was $13,267.20. 1998, $17,872.80. 2008, $26,395.20. And today, 2018, the average Social Security benefit for two people is $33,696. All right? So let's project it out in the future, what we think, assuming the past equals the future, what the government will provide you 10, 20, and 30 years from now. So 30 years from now, the Social Security, this is kind of crazy when you think about it. Social Security, $85,581 for a two-person household. 20 years from now, $63,527.84. 10 years from now, $43,016.17. So now look, you're like thinking in today's 2018 dollars, wow, 85,000, Alex, that's rocking. We're going to be living in luxury. Remember the part about what things cost 30 years from now? So, okay, so for those of you that believe Social Security is going to be around in its present form, assuming that the trust fund is still going to fund, now remember that the aging of the baby boomer generation is continuing. And the amount of workers, okay, remember, those of you that are my age and older, baby boomer generation, you're depending on a diminishing population of millennials to fund your retirement because the Social Security Trust Fund isn't enough to fund it today. They need the money today to fund the future, right? Like, you don't got to be a freaking math genius. And and if you're like me, you're thinking, oh my God, a smaller population of millennials. Okay, so now Mark said something to us hilarious. He goes, the millennials are the new hippies. It's the new hippie generation. I'm just cracking up, dude, when you told me that. So you and I are depending on the hippie generation to fund our Social Security Trust Fund. These people that want to join the Peace Corps, these millennials that want to do something because it means something to them. They're not doing it like baby boomers like me who need to do something to make money. They're wanting to do something because it feels good and it feels right. So you're expecting the millennial generation to fund our Social Security Trust Fund. So you tell me what you want to do. Okay, so if you're going to bet on the Social Security Trust Fund being around in its present form 30 years from now, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, this is what you got to put back, okay, assuming that it's going to pay out the way that I said, all right? So if you're retired 30 years with Social Security, adding to your retirement, remember, based on a $61,000 a year lifestyle, today, you have to put away $650 a month because you need 1.3 million basically. If you want to retire in 20 years, you need $813,000. So you got to put away right now, if you got zero, $1,183.33. And then finally, if you want to retire in 10 years, depending on Social Security, to live at a $61,000 lifestyle, median income lifestyle, $4,125. That's what it's going to take if you trust that the Social Security Fund will be in existence for you, assuming that you've been paying into it. Again, I'm laughing because I don't want to cry. Anyway, there you go. I'm done. So, I don't know, gang. What do you think? Let me just end with that slide. There you go. There's a slide. Oh my gosh. Any comments? Anyone got anything to say? Or are you as stunned as me? Like I said, my stomach was churning when I got to the federal poverty line. My stomach was churning. Okay, so what's the answer? Dadgummit, gang, the answer is our business. The answer is building a business. The answer is selling insurance and building a business so that you can make more than you need to put money away. And oh, by the way, this business, I have an overriding, I make all my money on override income, right? Build this business because this is the answer. In other words, you got to do something now so you don't got to be working at Walmart in 30 years. Like, I know you love greeting people for minimum wage, but, and you got healthcare to fund. Oh man, oh yeah, by the way, long-term care expenses. Oh yeah, Medicare. Oh yeah, Medicare will take care of you. Anyway, I hope this has been an uplifting message for you to wake up and start building this thing, start doing this thing. Don't wait. I'm urging you, don't wait. There's no time to waste, gang. There's no time to waste. So email me, text me your comments, and I'll get these numbers out to you. I know Scott was taking pictures of it, but I'll get these numbers out to you. And then just watch, look at this last slide every so often to remind you why you need to be on the phone booking appointments, why you need to get on the phone and source people that are looking for an opportunity. Because honestly, this is your answer. The Alliance is your answer, all right? So anyway, gang, appreciate y'all. We are done. Let's stop recording.